Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film sort of like a how I edit my Instagram photos video because a ton of people would message me on Instagram or Facebook asking me about what filters I use, what apps I use, and I thought it would be helpful and it would save time altogether just to make this video. I just wanted to say that these things that I would be sharing with you in this video are just things that I do. These are things that have worked for me, and there is no right or wrong way to edit your photos, and these are just tips that I just wanted to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so the first tip I wanted to share with you guys is to pick a color palette. So what I've noticed about feeds that look really nice is that they all follow a certain color palette. So my color palette is pastel pinks and pastel blues, and I edit my photos to stay consistent with that color palette so that on my feed they look cohesive, if that makes any sense. Okay, so on to the editing. So I mainly use Afterlight to edit my photos, but if I don't use Afterlight, I will probably use VSCO. So on VSCO, I bought all of the filters, but I actually just use one, and that is called SE3. So first I am going to go to Afterlight, and I am just going to pick a photo that I will edit. So today I am going to pick a sample photo for you guys, just so you guys can see how I edit my photos. So once I have finally picked a photo, I will start editing by adjusting the brightness. So I like my photos relatively bright, and then after that I will edit the contrast and saturation. So I'll bump up the contrast and then lower the saturation just a little bit. So these three depend a lot on your photos, so I recommend that you just play around until you find the settings that you like. So for the filters, I actually use a combination of two filters. The first filter is this one called Whim. So Whim actually adds like a pinkish tone to my photos, which I really like. And then I will add just about 50 of that filter, and after I will then go to my next filter, which is called Relic. So Relic adds almost like a bluish tone to the photos, which I also really love, and I will just add around 50 of that. So once I am done editing my photos, adding all the filters, I will just save it, and then it is ready for Instagram. One of the features I really like about Afterlight is a feature called Fusion. So in Fusion, you can mix together filters, you can mix together certain settings like the brightness and contrast, and it becomes like a custom preset. So whenever I have to edit my photos, I will just go to Fusion, and then I use my preset of the mixture of Whim and Relic. So I will also show you guys how I edit on VSCO if ever I do edit on VSCO. So I will again just pick a photo, and after that I will just edit the contrast, the brightness, and the saturation like I did with Afterlight. So I will bump up the brightness, I will bump up the contrast, and I will lower the saturation again just a tiny bit. So I do this because I hate it when my skin has a red or like orange undertone to it. Lowering the saturation kind of removes that. Okay, so I have all the VSCO filters, but I just use one, and it is called S3. Oops, okay, I said SE3 earlier, but it's S3. I also want to show you guys how I usually edit my photos if they're not going up on Instagram. So like usual, I will edit the brightness, contrast, and saturation, but my favorite filters for non-Instagram photos is called 04 and 05. I don't know why, but I love these filters. They add a certain depth to the photos that I can't explain, and you're just gonna have to try it yourselves. They are paid filters, but trust me, they're very, very worth it. Okay, so after I have edited my photos, I will be arranging all of the photos first on an app, and I actually use two apps. One is called and the other one is called Planoly. So both apps are kind of similar, but both have some features that the other doesn't, and I just can't seem to let one go. So I have two apps to arrange all of my Instagram photos. So I have these apps to arrange the photos because I have OCD, and I just can't be the type of person who just uploads random photos from every day. I have to curate them first and to see how they would look all together. I don't know, but that's just me. And I found these apps after Visco made the update. I hate the update because I used to arrange my photos there, but after the update, they aren't squares anymore. They don't look like your Instagram feed. It's all jumbled together, and that's why when I found these apps, I was very thankful that these companies made these apps because they are very useful for me. Alright, so this is As you can see, my feed is pastel pink and pastel blue. So here, my feed on Instagram is actually already loaded onto It automatically does that, and at the top I have tons of space to add the photos that I plan on uploading onto my Instagram. So one of the features I love most about is that it has this button that can temporarily hide a photo. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like deleting a photo, but I'm always too scared to do it because it can drastically change my feed in either a good or bad way, and I'm just too scared to risk it. So on it has this button that can temporarily hide the photo, so I get to see how my feed will look like once I delete that picture. So it saves me from all the worries of actually making my feed look bad. So it also has this button that just shows you how your feed will move once you add new photos, and it also has another button that shows you photos that are already on Instagram and photos that you haven't uploaded yet. So to add a photo, I just click one of the empty squares, I click the plus button, and then I just pick the photo that I plan on adding to my feed. The only thing I don't like about is that you can't use it if you don't have Wi-Fi. So you're gonna have to need Wi-Fi every time you wanna arrange your feed, but I can look past that. Anyway, so it's really easy to use. You just drag and drop the photos to see how they will look like together, and then you just click the button I showed you guys earlier to see how your feed will move. So it also has this draft your queue grid, but I actually like using this live grid. So other features include having multiple accounts. It also has tips, so it'll show you tips on how to arrange your feed and how to use their app and whatnot. You can also add captions to your photos, and this will be very useful when you actually want to upload to Instagram because you just click the little Instagram button and you can post the photos from directly onto Instagram. Lastly, it has this grid feature so that if you want one photo to be extra huge on your feed, you just click that. So on to Planoly. So Planoly is a lot like So my feed is down here and photos I plan on uploading are up here. It has the scheduled grid, the unscheduled grid, and the grid where all the photos are. So you just drag and drop, a lot like Unum, but what Planoly has that Unum doesn't is this entire calendar. So here you get to see all the days where you've posted and all the days where you haven't posted, and it actually shows you the posts. You get to see the photos that you posted on that day together with the caption, the number of likes, and the number of comments. It also has this analyze page, so it shows you just the statistics of your Instagram, and it also has this comments page. So it's basically just all your posts together with the captions, the likes, and the comments, but in list form. So to add a photo, you just click the button in the middle. You pick a photo that you plan on uploading onto your feed, and then you click upload. So it uploads itself onto the grid, and then you just drag and drop. Okay, and the third and last tip that I wanted to share with you guys is what I do when I really want to post a photo, but I just can't edit it to match my feed. So what I do is I actually edit the photo into a Polaroid, and I put that Polaroid photo on top of a photo that's just a solid color, and that color matches my feed. So by doing this, I can keep my feed consistent, but I also get to post all of the photos that I want, even if they initially don't match my feed. Alright, so first I'm going to pick the photo that I want to post, and then I will go onto the borders and I will make it into a Polaroid. So that's pretty easy, and I will just save that. And once I've already did, I will simply click new and pick the photo that I just saved. So I will go to borders again, and I will pick this one and add like a 50 margin around the Polaroid, just so that the Polaroid has space all around it. And then I will simply change the color of the borders. So I like to pick a color that's near white, so that it's all cutesy, it's all pastel, you know what I mean. And I will save that. Easy peasy. Alright, so those are my 3 tips on how I edit my Instagram photos and how I arrange them onto my Instagram feed. So don't forget to like this video if it was helpful, and to subscribe down below. And I just wanted to say that this video is about what I do with my feed now. I may or may not change my feed after a while, but I just really wanted to share these tips with you guys, and I hope it was helpful. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye! I initially thought that this highlighter wouldn't match my skin tone, but I bought it anyways. But it's surprisingly really versatile. Like, even this color that's almost like a lavender color,